What's up, YouTube? I just got to school, and today is the second day of my orals and practicals. So I did my orals yesterday, and that went pretty good. So today we're doing a practical, and we are headed down to the power plant hangar to get these these airframe orals done, so I can get that half of the license. And I'm gonna see you guys right after I finish that test and let you guys know how it went.
I have you living life like you should. You say you never had it so good. You never had it so good. You never had it so good.
So what's up, YouTube? This video is about how my experience went with my oral and practicals. A lot of people had questions about how my experience went, so I was gonna make the video later, but since everybody had questions, I decided to just make it sooner. So my experience was pretty good. It was good, of course, since I passed it. I passed it, so my experience had to be good. I definitely had tense moments and loose moments, where my tense moments was if I couldn't remember my studying, that would mess my whole thinking process up and get me fidgety. But if I knew everything, that the questions that was thrown to me, my confidence was sky high. And then once I heard a question that I just could not remember, it came from here to boom, down right there. And then if I hear another question, the next question, it will just come right back and oh, I know this one. So, you're going to have the moments if you can't remember. But really, my DME, he was really patient. He had a lot of patience. It took me from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. to finish my orals. And the whole August 4th, Wednesday, consisted of orals. And the whole August 5th, Thursday, consisted of practicals. So my orals was pretty good. We started with basic electricity, mathematics, physics, got into aircraft drawings, so the whole general list, but that was the basics of what we started with. And then we went into airframe. Airframe was pretty good. I knew my stuff, but I really knew my stuff in general. General was where it was at for me. And then some and airframe was where it was at for me as well. But cabin atmosphere messed me up. But other than that, it went pretty good. That was my orals. And I would say, get with students and see what DMEs they went with and see how their experience was. Ask them questions about how their DME was with them. So that helped me picking my DME. For me, ideally, it was patience. Once I heard a student say this guy is patient and he'll wait or he'll work with you, I said, all right, this is the guy for me. And that's who I went with. His name was Ron. He's a DME. He was a cool guy. After it's done, we went, got some lunch, came back. But the orals was done when we went to go get lunch. And we came back, got some food. We talked a little bit, and then that was the day. And that was about 3 o'clock where it ended up ending. And then the next day consisted of my practicals. But first, it was for the orals, I was so nervous that I'm asking him questions. He was like, you can't ask me questions. I do the question asking. I'm like, all right, cool. And then that's when I try to get back to remember the answer. And, so that was funny to me. He even laughed when I started asking him a question. I don't know if anybody in the history of OMPs they did me the questions. But that was funny though. Yeah. And then the practicals consisted of different things. I got my practicals, I want to say about 10 days, no, not even 10 days out. I got it about 5 days out. I did not get to go over my practicals with a teacher, so YouTube was the best for me, and going over my notes. At the end of the day, it's nothing hard because you've done this in school. These are just projects you've done in school. So let's just throw that out there right there. Throw that out there right now. These are projects you've done in school, and if not, easier too. So let's read down the list of what I had. So for general, this was my first one: measure voltage, resistance, current, or continuity in a circuit and determine the appropriateness of the measurement. Second one was fabricate and install fittings on a flexible hose. And my other one was remove corrosion from aluminum alloy. So as you can see, these things are pretty basic. So I wouldn't say worry about these practicals. And I'm gonna just keep going down the list. Calculate the capacitance of an electric circuit. Make a maintenance record, logbook entry for a minor repair or minor alteration. Complete a form 337. So that's all for the general. That was it. So I would say that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 projects for the 6 practicals for the practical. So here's my airframe, and this consisted of locate instructions for the repair and replacement of fabric on fabric covered surface using screws, special fasteners, mechanical methods. That was one. Here's another one: balance flight control surface / rotor blade. Check aerodynamic directives, list for AD compliances on a particular aircraft. Yeah, that one consisted basically of writing a bunch of ADs and how to correct it, the date, and you know how ADs go. So I'm not gonna go into there. Let's keep moving on these. And another one was purge air from a hydraulic system. Another one was take a fuel sample from sump and determine if water or other contaminants are present, and troubleshoot an electrical circuit with an open or short. And my last one was check an electrically heated pitot tube system. So as you see, those are my projects. That's what it consisted of. I keep saying projects, but this is not school. This is O&P. Those are my practicals, what those consisted of. And it went pretty well. And as you see, I did get my license. Here's the paper, my temporary certificate. The mailed one should be coming soon. And that's how my experience went. It was pretty good. Everything from the projects consisted of you going off of the menu as if you was in the real world. And I don't think he expects you to just do everything off ahead and from memory, because that's not the way you do it out in the real world. So I would say for anybody going for their orals and practicals, do not stress the practicals. I was stressing the practicals for 2 months, saying, I'm gonna study it with a teacher, but I fell behind with my studying with the orals and didn't give myself enough time to actually practice my practicals with teachers. But anyways, within the midst of that, for me practicing for my orals, the day before I stayed with a teacher. His name is Fred, and he's a damn good teacher. He's a real good teacher. I can't stress that enough. So I hold him in the highest regard. He's an awesome teacher. Anyways, he stayed with me from 2 o'clock to 11:30 p.m. just asking me questions, going over my weak spots, going over my my strong points. And eventually, we both was getting tired. We had coffee, we had some snacks, we was up. Yeah, so eventually we got to that point where like, all right, let's take it down. Call it a day from school and go home. So I went home. I finished up my flashcards, and I finished at about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I got about 6 in the morning and started studying. Started studying some more, and I want to say about 7 o'clock I left my house. Got to school about 7:30. Spent a good 30 minutes going over some more things, and the nervousness in me was just sky high. I was fidgety. I was waiting for him to come. He was like, "You look nervous." I said, "I am nervous." He said, "Relax. It's just a simple conversation we're gonna have. Just look at it as a simple conversation." And what I would recommend you to do is get to know your DME. Have a talk with him. get comfortable talking to him, get familiar with him, because you know when you meet somebody for the first time, you're nervous, and you don't want to have that nervousness going into the orals. Going into the orals, you want to have that comfortability with that DME. You want to have that comfortability with the DME, so that could ease you already being nervous, already being uncomfortable. So that's what I definitely would recommend. So one, get with students and see what DMEs they went with, ask around and see who works best for you. Two, definitely get with a teacher if you having trouble. You know, the help is there, and for anybody, any school, I know the help is there, because the help was there for me. Whether it's one teacher or whether it's multiple teachers you could go to, the help is there.